Good morning, guys. It's about 9:30 in the morning. We're getting ready to head out for Duncan's very last basketball game of the season. This lighting looks interesting, kind of creepy and ominous. Just got one reflection coming at me from that. Oh yes, you want to be in there? Good morning, little booger. I heard you slept pretty well last night. Yeah, he slept from about 11 something until about 5, and then Christina gave him a bottle, put him back to bed at about 6. So he got some decent sleep last night. He got about as much as I did. Actually, he probably got more hours than I did, which is good. But time to start the day. Time to get out the door. Hey, somebody woke up. Hello there to somebody. That was actually a pretty good game. It was 14-10. Duncan's team won. Good job, guys. Last game of the season. That's the way to wrap it up. Look at that little teeny tiny one. So small. Like a head shorter than everybody else out there. And because Duncan did such a good job playing, we're having some pizza buffet. I'm doing badly. And she's feeding baby. Well, we've made it home. We've been home for a little while now. Christina and Duncan are watching the UK game in there. Talked to my dad. Didn't really talk about much of anything. He was talking about those back doors that we're going to probably be buying. We're trying to figure out the best way to get it here because it's like a 2-hour drive or 2.5-hour drive, and the doors are really, really big, and he doesn't have a big truck to bring them in. He has a truck, just not a very big one. So I don't know how we're going to work this out. Maybe have to rent a truck or something. But after talking to him, sat down on the couch in there. I was watching a Casey Neistat vlog, and I passed out for a little bit. I think it was maybe only like 15 or 20 minutes, but I just, just completely out. It's a little while later. It's actually, wow, it's 2 o'clock already. My buddy Nick is going to be coming over, I think at 4 o'clock. He's going to be picking up these older soft boxes that I've got. These are actually the first soft boxes I ever bought. I bought them back in 2010, and they're, decent size. I think it's like 18 by 24, so it's not like immensely huge. But each one houses one of these gigantic bulbs. Those are 70 watt, I think they're 70 watt, 5500 Kelvin bulbs. Once he was asking me about them, I started looking back at the old videos about it, and it was a really, really bad video from 2010. It was early days. But 2, it really goes a long way to show what a camera will do, what the difference a camera makes is. But after doing all of that, after looking through it and thinking about it, I started trying to figure out what I could do about the LED lights that I'm going to be using, at least for the time being. Because I really don't want to have tripods out. You can see behind me, I don't have tripods up at the moment. So the only thing I've got behind me right now is just the cameras. And actually, the big tripod you can see right here is going away probably today, because this showed up in the mail from Amazon. This was, I think, 11 or 12 bucks. This is a magic arm. It's a friction mount arm. You just clamp it onto something using the clamp. You got this little thing here. Once you turn this, the whole thing goes limp, so you can put it wherever you want it, twist it back, and the entire thing solidifies in a way. So I've got my Audio-Technica mic on there, and I can move it wherever I want it. I can put my camcorder back on here, and then have everything sort of balancing on this one arm. I'd really like to be able to put together one system where I just sort of have all of the things in one place, easily movable and flexible. That's why I really wanted to look into these arms, and I'm very, very tempted to order a couple more of them. However, in trying to figure out what to do about all of the lighting stuff, because I need to have the lights right at about this height, right at about this distance, maybe a little bit closer to the wall would be fine, I'm gonna have to mount them on the wall. Now this one in particular, I may be able to just stick up on a GoPro mount like right here. That might work, or stick it on the side or something, I don't know. But the one that's going over there, there's not really anything to affix it to. I mean, I could technically figure out a way to clamp it to that light, but I don't know if it would stay there. I may try sticking it up there with this friction arm and just see if it'll hold it. That might be another option. But what I was actually thinking, and what was kind of interesting to me, was this. This little plate right here actually came with one of the security web cameras that I've got that I had just not been using the plate for it. And then I've got a little rotating ball tripod mount. So I've got that attached to the mount on the LED panel. And now I've got a little flexible wall mount. So I can put this on, and then I can screw it off anytime I want to change it out, if I want to make anything change to it. And the whole thing is flexible. It's flexible actually in 2 points of articulation. That may work out. I think I am, though, going to go ahead and take it and try to use this little arm on it first. Just because having that clamp and being able to just attach it to the lamp in the corner, it would definitely get the job done. And if I can avoid screwing things into the wall, that would be much, much better. I mean, this will definitely work. It'll get it screwed into the wall and get it up and away and wherever I want it to be. But having things that are not permanently attached to things would be better. You know what? That may actually work out appropriately. That's almost exactly where I wanted it to be, and it seems to be holding pretty steadily. I mean, as long as I'm not touching it, and basically once I get it up there and wired up appropriately, it's not going to be moving. So perhaps I'll order another 1 or 2 of those arms. That's an 11-inch arm. I think maybe I'll just leave it up there this evening just to sort of see how it does. Like I said, I'm going to be away for a few hours, so I want to see if that clamp holds out and if the whole thing will just stay where it is without knocking the lamp down. That's kind of the key thing. And that is what we call a stroke of ingenuity. I'm curious if this is actually going to work. This is the little GoPro mount plate that actually came with my GoPro. This was what was actually holding it into the box, and I just pulled it off because it was just kind of glued in there. Pulled it off, stuck it up here, stuck a GoPro mount on it. This is now up there, and it is kind of flexible. I can't turn it or anything, but I can technically take the whole thing off the mount and move this around anytime I want to. So that may actually work. It has my lights a little bit farther away than I normally would have them. Not too much though. And if I end up upgrading, if I end up going with another one of these YN300 Mark IIIs instead of the Air, it looks like it may actually work out appropriately. And I can technically move that at any time. And if this plate doesn't work out well, because I just didn't want to use one of them, I do have them. These little 3M sticky pads with the GoPro mounts on them. I could technically stick this back here or on the side or wherever, as long as I don't stick it on the wall. That's kind of the key there, is I don't want to put it on the wall. But this thing is holding very, very firm. I mean, it was not sticking very firm to the cardboard box I had it on, but it's doing a pretty decent job where it is. I like it. I like it a lot. So yeah, I'm gonna leave both of these here while I'm gone this evening and see, 1, if either of these fall, and 2, just how they look whenever I get done. Because I think I like this a lot. Because now I don't have tripods on the floor. I still have to figure out what to do with this AcoustiShield thing, because that's not really a good place for it. I need to put it in a place such that I can actually actively use it on the regular, because it's big, but it's awesome. I don't know, there's got to be a better thing I can do with that. Oh man, it's cold outside. Yeah, Nick just stopped by. I didn't pull the camera out, because that's what I do. Duncan and I were in here playing Lego Star Wars earlier too. Didn't pull the camera out. I've been so out of it all afternoon. I've been falling asleep left, right, and center. I sat down with Ellis to keep an eye on him while Christina had to go do some stuff, and fell asleep almost immediately. It was warm, he was very snuggly, and I just zonked out. But Nick showed up. As I've mentioned a couple of times, Nick has been working on his YouTube channel. He's trying to make videos now. I'll try to remember to link to him in the description again, because he definitely deserves some support and some love. He's going to be making videos about conferences and events and Penny Arcade stuff and the Penny Arcade Expo PAX. He goes there and he acts as an enforcer, sort of a helper, and I think it's actually a volunteer position. He's going to make some videos about those kind of things and videos of the panels at those conferences. So I set him up with my old softbox lights, my very, very old softbox lights, not the ones I was using that were gigantic, the smaller ones that I used at the very beginning, and a couple of stands and actually a teleprompter. Since I started using that little teeny tiny Parrot teleprompter that I haven't used in a while now, the much, much bigger teleprompters I was using before, not using anymore. Very good to find these needs or wants that friends here locally have so that I can try to help out. And it also really, really helps me because it gets these things out of here and doesn't cost me money to get rid of them. But I've got to finish getting ready because here in just a few minutes, I have to head out the door to go to D&D. And we are on the road as if by magic. It's actually getting very close to 5 o'clock already, so we're running a little later than I would like. D&D, everything starts at 5:30, so we have dinner and then games and everything. Christina's going to be coming along here in a few minutes. Ellis was just completely conked out, so I had to wake him up very quickly. She made a bottle for him and she's feeding him right now because it was bottle time. So it was either feed him the bottle right now or let him scream all the way to our friend's house and then feed him when she got there. And no, we're not doing that. We're not going to make him sit there and wait for a bottle that long. And Duncan is not interested in the kind of food we're going to have there, so we're going to stop and get him ultra healthy stuff. Need your ultra healthy McDonald's? Yeah. Note, this is something we do not do terribly often. And it is hours and hours and hours later. Christina and Duncan and Ellis went back home quite a while back, had a wonderful dinner with some friends. We played some Dungeons and Dragons. Actually, we played Pathfinder. It's like Dungeons and Dragons, but with different rules. Played that for just a couple hours. It's 10:30 right now. We wrapped up about a half an hour ago and just sat around and talked for a bit. And it is time to head back home. Freezing cold, absolutely freezing. because the car was sitting out in the cold, and it's, yeah. Really wish I would have filled up and brought my little Zippo hand warmer, because that would be lovely right now, just to warm up a little bit before my car warms. But since I do not have that, it's just a waiting game until the car is warm enough to actually start producing heat. And since it's 10:30, I have to get home and actually edit this vlog. That's gonna be loads of fun. The bad thing about sitting there playing Dungeons & Dragons or anything like that with a laptop, because I do tend to take my laptop with me, because I can, the way that we play D&D, we use an app called MapTool, which allows us to create a virtual map in a Java-based application, and we can all connect to the same server who's running it, and we can control our little tokens and characters on there and roll dice and everything with it if we choose to. But the problem with doing that and having a laptop there is that I tend to get distracted, so I ended up shopping on Amazon again. I actually went ahead and picked up a third Yongnuo LED light. I got the 5500K only option because I want to see just how bright it goes as compared to the YN300 that does dual LED colors. It was a question somebody in the comments asked about it, and I was kind of curious. If I've got 300 dedicated 5500K LEDs, it might get significantly brighter. I also picked up a couple of GoPro mounts. Since those Yongnuo LED lights have GoPro adapters on them, I figured it wouldn't hurt to try out a couple of clamp mounts. So they had some really inexpensive ones, like $7 or $8, where you clamp it onto something up to 2 inches wide, and it sticks out about a foot, and you can just angle it whatever direction you want. So I figure I'll use one of those, and then I got another one that has this really long snake-like adapter on it, and another clamp, and it's really flexible. So realistically, the next inexpensive Amazon items might be a special camera mount edition, or camera accessories, camera gear, something like that. I don't know. But hopefully, if this works out well, I'm going to have a very small, very portable, easy to set up, easy to use, remote controllable LED solution that's all GoPro mounts. I'm looking forward to seeing how this works out. My AC adapter for the second LED light should actually be in tomorrow, so I'll have both of them completely battery independent, but I will have a couple of batteries to use just in case I need them. If I do end up doing any sort of traveling, I might pick up another battery or two, or maybe even bigger batteries and an additional charger, but that's neither here nor there, that's down the road. But yeah, all told, I think I've probably spent less than $100 tonight, and on all of the lighting so far, I've probably spent maybe $250 or $300, and to get a really decent little LED setup, that's not that bad. When I first started looking at these LED panels, I was looking at a setup from Amaran. The Amaran Aperture, it's like a 625 setup, but that would have been two 600 LED lights. And this that I've got, it's going to be three 300 LED ones. So it's not even as much light as that would have been, but I think that whole kit was like $400. Who knows? I still might look into it later in the year. But so far, from what I've seen from my videos and the results and the responses from it and everything, the little setup that I've got is working really well. I'm very pleased with it. Although the camera makes about 90% of the difference on that one. If I were still using my Sony camcorder, it definitely would not be anywhere near this pretty. In fact, it might be worth doing a comparison. Hopefully I'll get some time tomorrow to work on some videos. I've got quite a few videos that I still need to make. While I've kind of liked having a couple of days here to relax, you know, I took Friday and Saturday and just relaxed and had fun. Tomorrow it's time to get back in that mode. Got to get lots and lots of videos done. Gonna have a really long, really good week. Have to get caught up. And actually I've got a couple of sponsored videos in the works. I was kind of holding off on doing them, but I figure it's time to at least look into them. I'm looking into products that I'm genuinely interested in, not so much concerned with the money that it pays. And it's looking like there may actually be a little teeny sponsored video on this channel. And I only say that because it's a baby-related product, and Christina saw it and said, yes, please. So it's a very low sponsorship. So apologies in advance if you're not a fan of that kind of thing. It's not something that's going to be happening on the regular, but it's a product that we really were interested in, and it looks like it's a good one. I saw a couple other videos about it, so looking forward to trying that one out. Anyway, I gotta concentrate and drive home. It is much later. Christina, when I got home, Christina and I talked for a little while, just sort of hung out. Spent a little time with Ellis because he was still wide awake. Gave him a bottle, changed the diaper and everything. She basically said, I'm exhausted, can I go to bed? I took Ellis for a little while I sat here and been editing the vlog. Finally got him conked out. I was going to pull the camera out, but I was so focused on getting him to go to sleep because it is so late. I was just like, forget it. I'll wrap things up in just a minute. I have got most of the vlog edited up to this point, so that feels pretty good. I am definitely not going to be filming anything tonight. And from the looks of things, just to sort of circle back on what we were talking about earlier, the lights are staying up. They're in a good position. I will probably take literally just a minute to test in a minute just to see how that looks. And here's what the current new setup looks like. The lights are nice and far away, and it looks like it might be a little bit harsh. I actually turned the wireless light down a little bit, but looks pretty even. I think it's kind of even. This one, this is the air light over here. It's going to be significantly changed here in a couple of days when the new YN300 Mark III shows up. Although I think that's going to be delayed for another week just because it's out of stock. But anyway, moving back to the other camera. Yeah, I'm not 100% pleased with that. That's not entirely where I want it. Just looking at some of the shadows that were cast by that, it's not perfect, but we're getting there. We're getting close. So I'll continue experimenting with that. Of course, you guys know I'll do that. And that's going to wrap it up for me for today. As always, thank you guys so much for watching, spending the day with me and my family. I always appreciate it, and I always love going back and forth with you guys in the comments. Let me know if you're doing anything fun and exciting this weekend. Like I said, we played Pathfinder, had loads of fun with the friends, spent a lot of time with friends this weekend. We don't do a lot of that, so that's a big plus for us. But again, thank you guys so much for watching. We'll see you again tomorrow.